Hello everyone, I'm Korvo of the Red Mist, and today I'm gonna talk a lot, to be honest, about different things that our recruits and also vets can find useful in the upcoming outfit wars. So I will cover a few topics and gonna go through them each at its own time. And it's gonna be like this, that we start with ASP skills, and then we do class loadouts and tactics, play styles of the different classes in the game. After that, we'll move on to vehicle loadouts for the Sunderer, Harasser, Valks, and the ESF and Galaxy. After that, we're switching a little bit to how to play the game as Red Mist. I'll go through some Callouts basics that we've already started to cover in our trainings. And then also breach basics, defense basics, like what should you think about in the different situations that occur. And that is basically the plan. So let's start with ASP. What is that? You can find it down there in my character. Here you see ASP skills. It's just good shit, some funny things you can unlock, etc, etc. I can just say that the most important thing in an outfit wars is often resource management, because you will run out of resources, especially when you're getting shot down from the air, using sundry spawning things, throwing C4s, etc, etc. So if you have points to spend, or if you have wasted them on some useless shit, like, I don't know, sticky grenade axes, etc, on a class that you don't gonna play during the outfit wars, then you can refund these. It costs 5,000 search. You go down here to the depot in boosts and utilities, and here you find the ASP refund token. It's definitely super important that you refund if you don't have this, basically, because it's required for everyone to, if called out, pull some stuff like transports, tanks for each other, etc. So all these 5, they reduces the nanite cost of the different things. And if you need to prioritize, you prioritize this first, ESF and Valk, because we're using those a lot. Liberator Galaxy, not that often. And then you have Sunderer spawns. We don't know how the map is gonna be, and if that's very relevant, etc. But these are also spawn points, so it's important. These are usually very cheap, but I use it anyways, because you can spam harassers if you're getting fucked by the enemy. So maybe the engineer can actually have some useful ASP skills. And I've unlocked, that's not very useful, to be honest, but the assault rifle access is really good, because TR assault rifles are really solid. And you know, use them if you have the ASP and you want to main Engi in the outfit wars. Shotgun secondary, extremely useful as well, especially if you are aiming to be an anti-max ground Engi, because then you will have to use the archer as your main weapon, and then you can switch to shotgun, which is of course solid in all close counter engagements. EMP grenade access, also good. You can switch it, and we don't have to rely on the infiltrators to fix all our EMP problems. So having that is also really good. So away with this one. Unlock shotgun secondary if you're archering. Probably unlock it if you want to play ground Engi in general, because you might switch the different roles. Assault rifle, it's more, well, if you like it, they are really good. EMP also unlock. here I have unlocked as a heavy main shitter, I guess, flash grenade, in the belief that most heavies don't do that because you have a concussion grenade ordinarily. But having this makes the combo really good. You throw in flash grenades and concussion grenades, but you have to sort it out before the outfit war starts. Maybe squad leads, etc. Decide which heavy is running flash grenade and which one is running concussion grenades, because the combination effect is of course a much more solid crowd control than simply 2 flash grenades flying in the same direction. So that's that for ASP skills. Remember that you more or less need to have this unlocked just because you need to conserve your resources and nanites constantly. And then you can niche your preferred class if you want. Alright, we'll start from the top and then go to the bottom of every class in the game. Perhaps we'll see how well I know this thing. So the Infiltrator. Let's see, this is a soccer cloak. The Infiltrator's main objective during the Red Mist Ops and especially Outfit Wars would be to harass the enemy behind their lines, constantly go for backcaps and hacks in the enemy controlled bases. And the secondary role is of course to help the squad hold a point, take over a base once the squad has gotten there. But you should always be the first one on an enemy player base to have things set up, like everything from beacon, but primarily the cap of the point and the hacks of vehicle terminals and equipment terminals. That's your main responsibility. It's also good if you can like put up a motion spotter and darts when you're there. Usually a backup infiltrator in Outfit Wars is a stalker cloak, which means that you can remain undetected and just be a shitter sitting somewhere in a corner and can't be detected by the enemy. That redeploys because they're getting tired of your shit. And then when they're gone, you're just constantly trying to take over the A point just to stall them, because they will need to dedicate resources then. And if they are stupid, which most planetmans are, then they will send more than one guy back to you. And then that's a loss in player amount. So that is the, let's see, here in the ability you can see there are 3 different things you can choose. You can choose the Stalker Cloak. You remain in cloak indefinitely, but you lose your primary weapon. It's not that bad, like you have some really strong pistols anyways. And then you have Hunter Cloaking, like for the ordinary sniper mans. And for this nano armor cloaking, which decreases damage taken when you're running around in cloak, is the best when you're actually supporting your team really close. You might be in the same building or just like running around back and forth. Suit slot, not much to say. It's more of your choice what you want to do. I use adrenaline pump for my Stalker Cloak because it just runs faster. It feels really good, but then again I troll a little bit with like meleeing mans, etc. You won't be doing that in Outfit Wars. Advanced shield capacitor is always a solid choice. You don't need ammunition belt. Nano weave is not relevant anymore. This is kind of useless as well if you just want to spam EMP nades to take down enemy beacons, for example. This could be a solid choice. Maybe we should run 1 or 2 infiltrators with this grenade bando when we're rolling in the platoon. Flak armor is of course if it's a base that is susceptible for heavy bombardment from the air and tanks, this is a must, more or less. Super good shit. As for grenades, always use EMP. It's a no-brainer. I'm not sure if this is probably relevant too. Could be nice to bounce it a little bit if you want to be really fancy. But this works just as well, especially for taking out enemy beacons, because it detonates on impact. So you can get further up in the air. Like you can probably EMP beacons that are midway up antennas with this. If you just throw them, this gonna fall to the roof and do nothing against those. Utility, claymores, probably not going to be that useful in the outfit wars. A shield, I don't know, won't do much, but might make you survive. One more hit if you're lucky. But otherwise it's the medkit you just run around, especially if you're close quarters. SMG, Infil could also be good as bolter. So I'm not gonna go through weapons all that much, because you can just find that in resources or whatever. Just ask, or if you have already have preferred weapons, then just go for them. Like I'm not gonna go into details how to play the different play styles, like SMG, Infil, or bolter person, because you should already know more or less how you do that. But I can go through some basic as how you place motion spotters, etc. I'm gonna show you a little bit about that. But here I made a fancy pants dude. It's called the Logistics Flash, because and this is super secret. I don't know how secret it will stay after this video, but you know, one of our ideas is, if where we run out of spawn options, which probably is going to happen in Outfit Wars, because then maybe we'll dedicate all their shit if they want to take out our Chandras and the beacons. And if we're holding inside the house, there is no way we can get reinforcements other than trying to land with Valk drops, but that's gonna cost valuable minutes. So what we can have, and what I mean, logistics specialist implant is one of these special implants, very low drop rate. But if you have it, make sure to create one of these logistics flash infiltrators, because they might come in handy. Then you will combine it with a flash. And the basic concept of this is, we're inside a building in Outfit Wars and everything goes to shit outside, but we're still holding. We can stall them, at least, if we're not even winning the points and the base. If we have one of these logistics flash infiltrator with logistics specialist, this is jockey just to reduce the damage, like make it more tanky on the flash. And you go with this cool shit. Shotgun is really good, but flash on the point that you just sit in. You need to sit in it all the time. And then you can also use the scout radar combo, because you can see it's a minimap wall hack for really long. And there you can run composite armor, of course. Vehicle stealth is not going to be viable because everyone knows where we are anyways. We are on the point. So having 30% more HP is pretty good when it takes small arms fire, which it will. It also survives one desi shot with comp armor. So all our infiltrators that has that logistics specialist, please also cert into this so you can use it during the outfit wars, because then you can have the players constantly spawn inside the house and not get directly farmed, because like 24 mans are outside just shooting you when you're trying to drop down. Okay, so let's say that this is actually a spandex base, and it's ticking down, we're holding it, it's going really well. What you do in the outfit wars as the Backcap Infiltrator is you're constantly on the next base that we're attacking, or if called otherwise, maybe the squad lead or platoon lead wants you to divert the infil resources to another base, then you do that. But if no one says anything, just go for the next base in the lane. So when do you redeploy? Like if you're a stalker cloak, you probably will be constantly in the Backcap doing stuff, but you need to monitor when the friendlies are capping the base. And usually when it's 1 minute to 30 seconds left, you need to be already deployed, because depending on where you can get your aircraft from, it's gonna take you this and that long time to get somewhere. So make sure that you will immediately start a cap when this is capped. So okay, it's 1 minute left. I press redeploy. It counts down, it's 50 seconds, so then you can see this probably has an air terminal. Now, you need to use Mosquito. So that's good that you've invested your ASP in this shit, because it makes it cheaper. And then it basically doesn't matter which of these things you have. You need to have ejection system, because then you can drop straight down and you don't maintain the vehicle's momentum, because then you'll just die somewhere in a mountain or whatever. Stealth is, I think it's really good, because the enemy air can't spot you as easily. And of course raise a high speed just to max out that speed that you're getting to the next base with. Also high cap fuel tanks, I'd say. Nexus doesn't look all that big, so this will probably enable you to boost, to turbo boost all the way to wherever you want to go. Okay, so I'm pulling this fast as fuck. Stalker cloak. Okay, this is getting capped, so let's say we want to be on that base. Of course, fucking retards need to hack everything. As you can see there, I couldn't spawn, which usually means that the enemy has hacked the air terminals here. And that is also a job you will do in the outfit wars, because then they will have to pull from another base. It's gonna cost them time, and it's gonna be annoying, just like it was for me there. But at last I got my shit together. Mossy is up. You need to be able to steer this ever so slightly anyways. That's a shitter village, so you're probably not winning. No, but fuck that shit. Let's say we're taking over this base. It's 30 seconds left. You go la 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 la, and there's the A-punk, because I know it is, and shoo! You can put up a beacon here, for example, if you know that the SS called out to attack this base. 10 seconds left, 9, 8, 7, blah blah blah. And you are here when the friendly has capped the other base. So then you just start capping this shit. If you're here even earlier, you might choose to actually hack out what you need beforehand. And that is of course spawn options that you can place outside the no deploy zone on the base. Just check on the minimap, because we don't know how the base layouts look, but you can always see on the minimap what's going on, where the vehicle terminal and the equipment terminal are. Make sure that your passive hacking thing has been maxed out also. Infiltrator certs, go there, and la la la. Where can it be? Passive systems. Yeah, exactly this. You need to hack out, max out, I mean, because it just makes you hack faster. And you should also have some Sundy specs ready if you're the playing Infiltrator for RMIS in Outfit Wars. First of them are the stealth Sundy. Max out stealth cloaking so it actually cloaks, makes it really difficult to see by the enemy, but it's also a little bit squishy. So if you have a sneaky position like on this Xenotech, not really many sneaky positions. It's like you need to have your Sunder here somewhere, all the way there. But for example, you could have a stealth Sunder here or behind there or there. So that's the first one. The other one you have to cert into is a max deployment shield for the Sunder, and that's when you're going into super obvious places like garage. This is a garage, for example, because they know the Sunder will be there. Down here also always a Sunder if you're attacking with many mans. So let's say we do that. We hack out, fancy shield job, and then you're like just placing it somewhere. The enemy will probably destroy it sooner or later if we don't have vehicle and air support that is dominating, because then this Sunder will survive forever. So like everyone can know I'm here. A few tips when deploying a Sunder, even though it's a shield job, is try to get it into cover anyways, because like if I'm just planting it here, they can shoot me all the way from the powerhouse there, and that's useless because it's 20 meters to run from their spawn, and they can shoot me from there, like they have so much cover even from down there. So this is a stupid position. Doesn't matter if friendlies has to run like a little bit more, but you can already see that it's much more difficult to hit. No obvious places to attack, maybe the ass from that place, but then we have friendlies that are shooting. So just think about that when you're placing, and don't panic. Just think for a few seconds, because often you have the time, and then it will be here. So backcap priority, point and beacon if you're not on cooldown. Hack out vehicle, Sunderer, stealth or shield, place it, and then you can switch to like your SMG Infil or bolter or whatever if you're supposed to stay on the base. Otherwise, continue as a stocky cloak to the next base. And yeah, okay, so Recon darts, they are really good, honestly. Motion spotter has the advantage that it stays up for a really long time. Recon darts, you can have several at a time and cover basically the whole place, but it's not as detailed. It doesn't give that much information, but you can rearm with an ammo pack, so you can have them indefinitely. But just like with the beacon placement, it's like you want this to survive as long as possible, right? And you also need to check when your motion spotter is dead, so you can put up a new, because having minimap wall hack gives you so much information, and it provides for your team. Everyone can see what's going on. We spot usually max pushes, heavy concentration squad pushes from somewhere, so these need to be up at all times, because that's what makes us react beforehand to anything that's happening. So like just putting a beacon up in corners like this, obvious places are really bad. Try to avoid it if you can, because they're just gonna spot it immediately, shoot it, and then you need to replace it. And if you're stressed out and shooting mans, then you're gonna forget about it. So what is the sneaky position here? Like it's probably under here somewhere. You can place it a little bit sneaky brick. Of course they can see it on the minimap, like if they want they can EMP it, but whatever. Like mans that are concentrating on point, they will miss this thing. They will just continue run here, and they run from there down there. So it's not like super easy to spot. Here you can shoot it. But also, if you're looking at this map, you want your motion spotter to cover as much as possible. If you have several infiltrators, they can cover back and front or both sides. Like this base is side heavy, they will push from there and here and on the other side of this powerhouse. So if we are 2 infiltrators with motion spotter, this would be ideal to have. 1 motion spotter there and over here somewhere. The closer you get to the enemy spawn, the better. In a powerhouse, usually that's not this close. They are usually not this close. Doesn't matter. Then placing an obvious motion spotter here is really solid, because you can basically see everything that's going on around the whole powerhouse that you're defending. Usually A points here or down there. Not there, but there somewhere. So you can see what's going on all the time. Other good placements is like, as long as it has a little bit of protection from most angles, it's much better than having just putting them up here somewhere or some shit. Also bushes, people usually think they're good, but they are not as good as you'd believe. So it's better to have them just behind cover. And under things. And if you land on the roof, even better, just put it up there. If you can like slide it in some of these crevices, could also be good. There are some boxes that's available, you like slide it in there. And I think that's that for the Infiltrator. Okay, so onwards to light assault. Not much to say about it, to be honest. You have a lot of free choices here to make, but remember to just equip C4, because you can chug C4s from rooftops, etc., and start to delete enemy max crashes even before others. Your strongest thing is, of course, that you can get to places that people don't expect. So you can shoot them in the side and in the back, etc., etc. You can also help with taking out enemy beacons and what's it called? Place friendly beacons. So on the outfit tours, you should probably run. What the fuck is this? Let's see. Vertical thrust is for beacons. Could be really good, but just use the stock one. That's good enough. Skirmisher jump jets, they are called. Oh my god. Evil tank. Fuck. Little bitch. What a fucking shitter. Let's see, where were we? Skirmisher jump jet, yes. So basically just do your thing. Swoosh around. I'm not using light assault all that much, I'm just farming with it, and then you just find the good positions like where no one else think you are. Like just shoot in there, shoot there, run around, have a good time. You should be able to farm shit tons if you just find a good placement. And you can place the beacons. The tech bounty will do it far away from here, like in that vicinity. Oh, so what about loadout? Something more? Not really. I used advanced shield capacitor because good shit. Flash grenade, of course. Not smoke grenade, please. No smoke grenade, because everyone's gonna be really, really sad and kill you. So use flash grenades if you're gonna help with a breach or in a defense when the enemy is trying to breach. Because I'm an ambusher jump yet farmer shitter, I use AFOL, so don't use that, and don't use the regeneration either. Because you either die where you can't be rest or you die where you can be rest. You're not gonna like survive for 100 years. Alright. Time for an important class. What the fuck was that, an infiltrator? Smooshily swoosh, swishily swoosh. Yeah, great aim, yeah. Okay, so here we go. Combat medic. Rule number 1, shoot enemies first and rest later. Rule number 2, don't run in front of your stupid ass heavy because he's just gonna continue shooting and the server lag is, as always, legendary and you will kill yourself. And the worst thing is even that your heavy kills you and the enemy that he's shooting kills him because you're soaking all the damage and off-puts him. So don't do that. Try and find, using your battle buddy system, your heavy that's covering a doorway. You just call out, maybe a squad lead calls out who you're going with. But generally just help the heavy that you are protecting or being with as his sidekick. Like, it's super good when a medic plays as a double peak support, heavy support medic. See if we can just be somewhere safe for once. Let's just have one of these triple stacks to look at. Okay, so you're a medic, you're running around with good weapons. Ah yeah, loadout. Okay, first and foremost. Nano regen device you will use. You don't use this shield recharge. I use always ASC. Also could use flak armor if it's shooty with explosive time in a shitty base. Usually some tank finds it. Our medics in the outfit wars, and they should not run grenade bando because rest nades are a fucking scourge of planetman's kind. Because usually they are not used correctly. And we really hope that you think twice or 3 times before you throw a fucking rest nade what you're doing, if it's useful. Because otherwise you've just wasted your nanites and given the enemy more farm points and better confidence if they're just shooting things you're resting in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the enemy horde, etc. But I will give a few examples of that, how to use your rest nades. But don't run this. You have one rest nade and that's that. That needs to count and be very important because you have more medics. What you do in a zombie war, which is actually relevant to chunk these rest nades on point, is you're calling out when you are throwing the rest nades. So not 3 medics throw the rest nades at the same time, because that's useless obviously. So I use ASC on this instead, or flak armor. But yes, of course, the revive nade you will go with. Fuck all these other things. And the C4. No medkit because you're a medic, right? You have a nano regent device. It heals you and everyone else in the vicinity. Good shit. These two I would say, go for that. Combat Surgeon you must have, because you can just read what it does, really good stuff. Maxed out of course. And I use Assimilate because clicking heads are good, and it works really well with both medic class and heavy assault, because medic has its AoE heal, and you restore 10% of that is really strong. And you can see this as well, restores your nano regent device. So in a good fight and you're doing things properly, you will be able to press this at all times that it's needed and not be run out of that shit, right? You should very rarely have this thing out, the med tool, like you have seen thousands of times. The pleb medics just sitting behind corner or inside, and they don't know anything, but they're crouching and they have this goddamn heal tool out. It's like, here is their heavy, they are here, and first they're pressing left mouse button and hope that the heavy will save them, and then it dies. What do? They don't do like this, start shooting the fucker that killed this guy, but instead they start resing them. And what happens then is big Chad dude comes here and then he's dead, right? And usually pleb brains, like, they are a hive mind, everyone does the same. So instead of one medic doing this, it's 4 medics doing this, and Chad heavy with MSWR will just have a even better time. So don't do that. So okay, we're holding triple stack, kinda a good building. And you have your heavies and your shelf here in these stairs and these stairs, and you need to like watch out for this. But I just want to give a general idea of how you play your medic. Like, I'm doing this myself, so you just have to imagine the friendly planetmans. Like, you're not here if your heavy is not. Always let the heavy be in front, basically. But always be able to shoot the same angles more or less as him, and this is super easy because it's a no-brainer, it's just a corridor. If you have aim here, your heavy has aim there. So let's see, what is it? Third mission is to not get killed, because if you're killed then you can't rest anyone. The heavies are supposed to get killed, if anyone, because then you can stand here, rest a little bit fast. Say you're shooting some planetmans, blah 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 blah, 2 dies, your heavy dies. If there's like 1, you continue to shoot him, of course, when you think you can win. After these guys are dead, then you take a little bit step back, rest that guy. You know, you just need to know when the moment is proper. What you won't do is having your med tool out just supporting that heavy, because you have DPS and your medic DPS is really strong. So you just shoot first, rest later. That's the basic concept. Moving on to when to use res. Nade. As I said before, you don't run the bando, because we're gonna get mad and you're gonna get run out of nanites. So use the res nades when there are a lot of mans that's killed. That's gonna take time to res, you know, and it's hectic because the enemy is pushing, like, from down there. They're starting to advance. Then you can just, if they are dead here, and you know that your revive nade will revive everyone, you throw that shit. And when it does its job, you just continue to shoot, and you can see the XP ticks pops up when they have accepted the rest. They will start at half HP. Then when the first tick is coming, you of course just activate your nanite and try to get them healed a little bit. Their shields start recharging immediately, etc. So it's super strong. But why do you res people up here and not 2 guys that's dead down there. Yeah, well, if the enemy has destroyed these guys because they are in shit positions, this is a shit position, for example, in this triple stack. Also, your retard heavy has run out and got himself killed. Never ever fucking throw rest nade on them. Like, they can respawn on the beacon or whatever, or sit in a corner and be ashamed of themselves, because like, and as a heavy shitter myself, I can just say that when I've gotten killed, if I receive a rest nade, most of the times I accept it. And there's nothing worse than like being dead here, for example, and the enemy is pushing you, not seeing what's going on, you don't hear anything from your medic, not telling if it's safe to rest, etc. I accept, and then this shitter stands just here and shoots me when I get rest. Okay, so what have you done then, medic man? Well, you have wasted your rest nade on one guy that's in a bad position. That should, and like, you just don't do it. Learn how to play your medic class well. Be very selective of when you're supposed to throw your only revive nade. Okay? And of course, the zombie wars. It's a rest war. You call out before you are throwing your rest nade. It's like, I'm throwing rest nade. Doesn't matter who it is, because everyone else hears that. Then the other medic that's thinking the same thing, he won't do it. And then it's his turn, like the zombie war continues. I'm throwing the rest nade. And that's the callouts you need to do as a medic. So we don't throw away all the squad's medics' revive nades in vain. Okay, good shit. So that's the medic, basically. Shoot enemies first. Double peek with your heavy. Always stick close to a heavy. And don't die. Right. Oh, we're not at the heavy shitter yet. Okay. Engineer. Let's see. Do I have? Yeah, I think this one. So what's the deal with the ground Engi? Your main objective is to provide for deployables that are hindering the enemy advance into the building that your squad is holding. And you do this with 2 tools, or what do you say? The first one is the anti-infantry mana turret. Use that, make sure, like engineer has a lot of gadgets, it's a lot of things to sort into, so if you want to play ground engine, make sure that you have like more or less all the shit sorted. It's also nice to have the aircraft synergy, quick shield, no brainer of course. Auto granted nowadays. Oh well, it is what it is then. Oh. Here we are. So, yeah, anti-infantry mana turret, sort that shit out, because otherwise it will overheat faster, and that's bad. But you're using that anti-infantry mana turret for ground engine. You put it up on the good positions, because it's really difficult to, especially if you're in the elevated position that you often are when holding points, for the enemy to shoot. Enemy infiltrator can hit your heads, but it's a lot of head glitching going on this turret, which is really good, and it's strong, hard to destroy with decimator, and it provides cover for you and everyone that's near it, basically. Personally, because this Engi has fast shield recharge in his certs, I don't need ASC. So, of course, then I will use flak armor. Because what else is there? Not much. What we don't want in the outfit wars for ground Engi is for him to carry around mines. We're not going to use any tank mines. Grenade bando is also not better than flak armor. Like you wasting things just throwing stupid shit around. Here is probably little bit sketchy what you want to do. Like we said earlier on the ASP theme, that EMPs as Engis in a squad are also really good to have. So this is the preferred grenade, more than frags. Sticky nades, they've been nerfed, so they are not as good anymore. And you don't use this. Nano repair grenade would be a little bit viable on max crashes, but still you're gonna have your rep tool out when we are commencing max crashes, and that should suffice, honestly. If your max is not getting auto deleted with 2 or 3 decis, then your rep tool should cover its damage, and then we get in with the maxes and shoot the shit out of the enemy team, and then you have all the time in the world. So better with an EMP, like to disable all their shields inside, because like just imagine the EMP actually takes away half HP of the enemy planet plebs. Good thing to have in mind. So if you were just engaging infantry, this is what you run. You can also, if you have the ASP to shotgun, you can use that. If we are max crashing or you're called out to be anti-max Engi, anti-max ground Engi, then I would strongly recommend that you switch to Archer. Archer, yeah. Or the new one that I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, just an Archer in general. And either pistol or shotgun as a secondary. It makes you really strong, like overall. What I use also is Hardlight barriers, because they can actually be really useful sometimes during point holes. They cover a large portion of small doors. They can stop enemy grenades from coming in, and it also obviously provides you for cover that you can hide behind when you're getting low, and you can head glitch the enemy, and you get a better field of view in staircases when you're looking over it than the enemy, especially those enemies that are not headshotters. They will just hit this Hardlight barrier because they don't know shit, they just spray, just like myself. So let's see. We're still here. We're gonna defend this point. Triple stacks are a little bit like problematic for ground engines, in a sense that the light assaults comes and looks at you from windows, they come from the roof, and they come from the balcony, so basically it's kind of shitty. But I will maybe show a powerhouse or something that you can put up. But like I said, stairs always viable to put up your stuff. It's like the further out you get this, the harder the enemy will have to hit your head, because it just makes you stand taller and higher up than them, and then you can start mowing everything down. If you're getting killed here, you will die. Lie here, medics super easy to res your ass, and then you get back up. Oh, by the way, loadouts wasn't ready. I run jockey again, just like the logistics radar flash infiltrator, because as you can see, mana turret, you receive additional 50% maximum shield health, and the Engi already have a lot of shield health. So that's really good. But I also use this because I'm running the Hardlight barrier and a turret. What it does is, you can see it just makes your tanking stuff, like this is supposed to absorb damage, this is supposed to absorb damage. This goes really well with that because it adds resistance and it also adds repair, so you literally can just run around, shoot enemies while your stuff is auto repairing. And like you can just put this up beside it somewhere, or other side, it depends on how many ground engines you are. You can like But stairs, always super good. We can have sneaky person shoot through here. Not here that much, but also you can do the head glitch, la la la, take damage up, down immediately, and then you're protected. So this is very sneaky tactics. These are called Caltrops. They are bought maybe in the sanctuary, I'm not sure. Yeah, but I'm sure there is a robot that sells them on sanctuary. Caltrops. What you can do is stall the enemy a little time. I don't know, maybe it takes 2 or 3 decimeter shots to get rid of this. But if you're like placing it with the edges, the 2 edges inwards, is that a word? Then you can successfully block the entrance, or at least make it more hard to attack. So we don't want mans to come in from the balcony that easy, and there's a lot of like obstacles in the way. It's covering a little bit, like you can get in here of course, but these guys gonna get annoyed, like they're getting stuck. And of course if you just have one medic or something that's looking in the back, then he only needs to peek a little bit and not go all the way here to check for enemies, because then maybe one peeks there and one peeks there, double peek, then you're fucked. And that's that. But here, only this you can. So always think about, as ground Engi, have Caltrops, place them in doorways. When the doorways have stairs, this is gonna be less useful, but still. Maybe these stairs down here has... This door down here has a stair. No, not really. Ah, whatever. You get the point. And the thing is that you can place up to 3 of them, so you can actually block more entrances than one. Here's the same shit. Like, that's what these do. And not much else. Wonder if I can somehow like block double block. What the fuck is wrong with this doorway? Okay. Maybe shit's bugged or something. But yeah, in the worst case scenario you will get something like this, but it still funnels them and blocks the line of sight from the outside towards you. And like, of course it does the opposite thing to you. Let's say you're a little bit overextended, things are easy. Then if you're trying to shoot this guy and he strays like down there, this shit blocks him. But it's his job to get in here and not your job to get out there. So if he doesn't die, then that's fine, like whatever. They're gonna come up here and get melted anyways. What else do you have as this class? Personally, I find Engi the most diverse of all classes. It can do everything, and also, of course, you play Engi in the ground vehicles, and sometimes also in the air. But you have, where's that? Where's the ammo pack? Doesn't show, but you have an ammo pack, obviously. I think it's on passive search. La la la. Passive. What the fuck is this even? La la la. Here, ammo pack. Use max that shit out. You see, it will make your ammo pack last, and it increases the radius. And I'm not sure. I thought sometime that. Where's the A point? So basic standard is always throw ammo pack somewhere around point, so your friends can get supplied. Let's see if this works. Can I throw 2 or? No, no, okay, it despawns. So you can have 1 ammo pack. The fuck? Magic. Okay, obviously you can have 2 ammo packs then at once. What happens if I throw another one? Okay, 2 ammo packs. Really good shit to remember for our ground engines. And that's that class. Ah, okay. Finally. The good old salty and extremely sweaty heavy shitter. I'm gonna go through just a few things. This is the class that you don't need that much of a brain, which is good, because planetmans, oh fucking infiltrators, man. Let's see what to do. Loadout, yes. Okay, so the heavy assault's main objective is to farm the shit out of everything with the support of a double peeking medic and Engis and infiltrators, but this guy is supposed to be in front. It's supposed to lead the assaults, the breaches, and it's supposed to counter breach, you know, just be there and absorb shit and shoot enemies with their large magazine light machine guns. They also have rocket launchers that can counter different things, which is super good to have. You are supposed to delete or at least severely damage enemy maxes with each rocket shot from this. What I use for my heavy, because it feels like in Red Mist there are many strong players, which kind of diminishes the usefulness of this guy, because you need to actually kill the enemy soldier to get back shields from adrenaline shield. And sometimes I'm getting a little bit confused by it, because say I usually run out of the overshield, and then I kill the enemy, and then I've gotten a little bit of it back, but then I won't press F again because I don't think about it. This sweet thing is what I've been running for, I don't know, really long time, honestly, because it's such a good all-rounder. Like if you're, especially if you're a new guy, if your KD isn't that high, like I don't know, 2 KD, this should probably be really good. And it also depends on your KPM, how good this is. This doesn't matter. It just do the same thing all the time. It mitigates all damage. It mitigates explosive damage. It mitigates headshot multiplier and all other kinds of damage that you take in this game. Except, I guess, maybe EMP that deletes your shield. It has a large uptime, and I think someone said sometime that because of the fact that it mitigates 35% damage, it gives you the most overall HP. If you have 100% shield, 100% HP, activating resist shield will be the tankiest heavy assault in the game. And you see, it takes a really long time for it to drain, and it doesn't. It always protects you with 35% mitigation until it runs out completely. So you can have this up at all times. The only thing you need to think about is when you're losing shields and you have this activated and no implant that... Where do I have this? I'm gonna show... what's it called? No. Here I think... Yeah, it's basically just making everything easier. You can have a resist shield with this. It actually works really, really well. And no longer prevents your personal shield from recharging. So that means that, like, you can have this up at all times. You take damage, you still have the resist shield activated, and your ordinary shield will just continue to regenerate, but it doesn't do that when you don't have that. But Assimilate is good because when you actually kill a dude, you get 200 shield and 10% of your maximum ability energy. So it also stacks good with the heavy assault class, because you're also supposed to kill a lot of mans. But so it works like this instead. La 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 la. And nothing happens. So you need to deactivate your shit for it to start recharging. Okay. Other things about loadouts on this one. I'll probably cover that when, I forgot about tactical, but yeah. I'll speak about that later when we're done with this. So I use that one, and for this in Red Mist gameplay, I find it really, really nice because I'm dying a lot as a heavy. I have maybe 1.5 KD to 2 KD, true KD without the rest is counted, and you can see it restocks your weapons. So in a res war, when you're running out of ammo, you're getting killed, and when you accept, you don't need to reload your weapons because this fucking thing has already done that for you. So it's very good, very good. Okay, so we're getting into Chevron. Like, heavy assaults, always first. You have your squad here behind you. You and the ground Engi's infiltrators might want to prepare a breach, but I'll talk about that later. And maybe some basic movements I can, like, because this is the only thing heavies need to think about. I guess I can already talk about it here a little bit, but you know, just don't run in like an idiot and get shot from everywhere. That's not how you're supposed to do. Either you breach with a conk push and then just run in like headless chicken, but you hug right or left and like strafe. But usually you need to think about where's the enemy. You need to find enemies. Are they there? Are they there? Like, be a little bit, because you're no use dead to anyone. And try to take out some mans. And like Kako said yesterday, this is the headshot yellow stripe. Usually you can just have your aim in that height and you'll be fine. But you can also see the enemy heads, of course, and shoot at them. So that's what you do. You go in first, you soak some damage, rest shield up, blah 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 blah, and then we have secured the point, and the enemy is dead. And the decimator, you see Max. Usually what I try to do is anticipate when they're like using their sprint, they can't fire all that easy. Enemy Max is coming in. Then I, like in a Chevron here that's badly covered as it is, I usually like activate and just fast and then run back in because they don't have time. And then this forward momentum, maybe they have a max crash, they just gonna continue. And then you have a half HP max. Your medic or whatever has chugged C4s here. He comes in and boom, and it's dead. So make sure that you're hitting your rocket shots and that you use them against maxes. Also, like when a max is nearby, I can target switch in the last second, because if they have repair engine with them, that repair engine needs to die, because otherwise the max unit is more or less invulnerable if we don't get two decis on him exactly the same time, which is really hard. So say Max is coming there, but I see just behind him the little engineer is coming, then like I just switch and shoot him instead and hope that he dies. So priority is to take down Maxes and Max Engi support. Fucking hell, I think I forgot Max support Engi. But there's not much to talk about there. So that's the heavy assault. Let's get in and tank. And of course, don't be stupid, because very many heavies have some kind of ego. They are super autistic about having the most kills anywhere they go, which is really problematic in a squad play environment, because that's not your main objective. Your main objective is to make sure that the squad caps a point, which means that you might be better off sitting inside and just waiting for the enemy to run in, then start looking for the enemies running away from the squad and get fucked somewhere, and then the beacon goes down and then you're just sitting there in your death screen thinking, why am I so retarded? So say we protect this point. Okay, alpha team, I'm alpha team now, we're holding top, Bravo team is holding bottom. If I'm Bravo, then I can be here, of course, but don't never stand in doorways like this, because then this guy shoots you and that guy shoots you and everyone shoots you and then you're dead. And of course, because every medic is such a good and nice guy and have a heart of, I don't know, gold, fucking retards will of course come here anyways, and then the enemy stands here and peeks and kills you, so then you and your medic are dead. But say you run around like farming mans and feeling really good about yourself. You run in here, your squad is there, your medics are in there and everything. Blah 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 blah. And then someone comes and kill you here. Then what are you supposed to do? What good have you done? These guys, 3 guys that you killed, they get rest, and that took about 2 seconds. You are dead. The beacon is gone. You don't have time. There's like 15-10 seconds delay on that shit. Then the enemies are here already, and your medic doesn't have his heavy, and then you screwed it up for everyone just because you got so fucking autistic about your farm. So don't do that. You need to be just as great a team player as the rest of the team, even though you're the tanky, heavy KD, high KD shitter. Okay. So that's that about heavy assault. Last thing then about MAX Skillsuit. Not much to say other than it's probably going to be the heavy assault that switches to a max. So if you are maining heavy assault, make sure that you sorted out some max loadouts. And first and the easiest is of course the anti-infantry max. Most mans Arax and shoot with the mercies first because they are more accurate, but what I found out is heavy cycler, the stock weapon, actually extremely strong because it is accurate enough. It has a mid-range capability, but it has much higher stopping power because it does 143 damage as its top damage for a 400 RPM. You see 426, almost no difference. I think this also has, yeah, it's just a little bit more ammunition, especially with extended mag. So I always use, obviously not always because I've already Araxed the mercies, but this is actually good shit. Like, you can see if you burst like this, it's pretty solid. And it's 143 damage output, makes enough of these bullets to hit your victim. And usually it's kind of cramped in around corners in the houses that we are holding points, which makes these even more strong. They are definitely much stronger than, what's it called, mercies. And its counterpart, onslaught I think it's called, it just sprays all over the place. Its RPM isn't that much of an upgrade. its damage is weak, just like the Mercy. It has no aim. Just use these then. So it's either Heavy Cycler or Mercy. You can try them out before the outfit war, see what you like. This is what you run as anti-infantry max. Always ordnance armor, because what will kill you is not small arms fire, because you're gonna have a repair engine that takes care of you all the times, and you have enough like time to react to one desi shot, boink, oh shit, and then you get repaired over half. You can take another desi, oh shit, I'm 10% HP, then you just stand here and your Engi repairs you to full, or whatever. The enemy runs in and then you start spraying all over the place. Like, the range of this one is obviously best. I would say you can totally melt everything that's coming through this door. That door is gonna take a little bit longer than an ordinary standard, what's it called, assault rifle or LMG or something. They can aim better, but you can see still, like the first shots in the burst, lots of 143 damage output coming down there. And you play this class much like a heavy assault on steroids. That's why it works well with players who play heavy assault mains, like mains them. Because it's basically the same thing, but you can feel even more confidence that you can tank shit. Your breaches are getting more stronger, and the DPS output is just better in general. But especially the HP is what makes it. Try and get salvage, because killing enemy max units restore a shit ton of health, like, and especially in the super close range does even more. It restores half your HP basically, and that is really, really good. Secondary implant, I don't know. Just use something that's good. I don't know. There was some like small arms resistance thing if you're standing still, but no one ever stands still more or less, so that's not very useful. Oh, you couldn't even use it with this. I used disengage. That could probably be good to get a little bit space between you and the enemy that is trying to, or on their way of killing you. Yeah, I should probably use that. Like, this is just for my personal solo farm. And it's been nerfed as well, but whatever. AA is the NS10 burster. No brain, just... Also, the ability is really good, lockdown, as an AA, because it increases the fire rate, reload speed, and the projectile speed. So, like, TR anti-air is super strong, because you can use lockdown in a useful way. Because lockdown as this makes you stand still and super easy to shoot with small arms, and especially the rockets. You always need to move around like an anti-infantry max on point holds. What more do we have? And the last thing I want to show here is how you delete enemy maxes. You delete enemy maxes with pounder hegs. They are, as long as you hit your shots with this, it's kind of thump grenade trajectories with these shells. Fucking hell, I can show. So they're a little bit wonky, they fly really slow. But the enemy has Falcon rockets and Comets, I think they're called. Like plasma balls flying out from the Spandex Max. I don't have the exact numbers, but it just feels like you're really melting enemy maxes with this, even though they have ordnance armor. You just need to hit them when they are strafing, etc. And the good thing is it has a little bit splash damage. It is strong against ordinary infantry, especially those that doesn't have flak armor. You can, if they are getting rest inside around the corner, you can splash them ever so slightly, and after like 8 shots of these, 1 barrage or what you can call it, should probably kill off the enemy that's hiding there. but you can see indirect damage is 100 on 0.5 meters and 25 on 3 meters, so it's really within the 0.5 meters that you're being useful. Try harding, like lasher spamming, but with pounder hex, but that's not what you do. You go straight up in their face and smack them, and then you shoot them with the pounder hex and they die. And also you can use this if you want to counter enemy Sunders that's closing in on the base, harassers you can chase away, and tanks, like you can still hit things on medium to long range. If it's just standing still, you can like just see where the shots are landing, and you shoot in the general direction and they will immediately start moving back because it's doing such a great amount of damage, so they get scared. What the fuck have I written about? Ah, yeah, callout. Okay. All right, so that's that about. We have covered ASP skills and class loadouts and tactics and playstyles. I think we should also talk about the tactical slots. So heavies, you run Hardlight Canopy. It's the umbrellas, really good to protect against the ESFs and shit. Combat medics, not running this fucker. You're running Ordnance Dampener to create explosive damage reduction, basically flak armor. And if you just have enough of those, you might just as well run ASC, and that's why I use it on many classes, because these are supposed to be up at all times. As engineer, you use Caltrop with the tactics that I showed earlier with the Engi loadout. Here I'm not sure what you can use on this. Yeah, one of the two, I guess. Maybe Caltrops, I don't know. You don't need to think that much about it. And for infiltrators, it's usually really good to move around with pocket flash, because maybe a base is a little bit big, then you can just pull out your pocket flash and then go from here to the A point, or from the A point to the vehicle terminal that you're supposed to hack really fast with this. So make sure to unlock that if you can. If you want to be doing a cheesy fucking tactic, you can do like this. Anvil in something, just blocking a door like this. It's super cheesy, but it buys you the seconds maybe you need. The enemy can't get in and getting frustrated, and their push was supposed to be here, so they have to run around or whatever it is, or destroy this. But it just takes a few seconds before this lands, and they can't do anything about it other than maybe try hard it when it comes from the air. Think about that if you're supposed to be the one who drops in anvils, if that's your job. This is an extremely cancerous way of playing the game. But I didn't read any rule that prohibits that in Outfit Wars, so have that in mind. Okay, moving on to a more secure work environment. I'm gonna talk a little bit about different vehicle specs that we would like you to use during the Outfit Wars, and nothing is set in stone. As always, you might have your own little niche that is making you a really good planetman and vehicle player if you're using, I don't know, whatever it is. But this is the like a general guideline for basic loadouts if you're wondering, or if you're like an infantry main and don't know shit about vehicles and air, then you can cert into the vehicles and air just to pull it for someone else that's run out of nanites. So let's see, which vehicles did I say? Sundy, Harry, Valk, ESF. Should we maybe talk about the Prowler? Yeah, we should talk about the Prowler as well. La 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 la. Let's see which is okay. Here we go. Harasero. Don't know why I used. What the fuck is this weird? Totally meme. Must have been drunk. Okay, the standard harasser is just no. Fuck, a bullet. Confused. Confusion. Nope. Okay. Okay. Can I run over people? Boo. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, for harasser basic, you can attack both vehicles and infantry with this halberd. So if you're just running around in a harasser wolf pack, for example, this is a really solid gun for you to use. It's long range, mid range, short range, it works everywhere. So make sure that you have sorted out this as good as you can. Always prioritize, like this is a one-time cost. Reload speed, go for that before you go for ammo cap. So you max that out because it just increases its DPS. Fire suppression I always use, if not for niche purposes like crashing amp station or other weird shields. Composite armor for me personally, because most of the time they know that we're coming or where we are, and it saved me a lot of times this comp armor, because 20% HP on a harasser is quite a lot, to be honest. So fire suppression combo with comp armor is really good. I use... What the fuck did I do in this? Like, it's supposed to be Racer high speed chassis as well, because it simply just increases your speed, decreases the time for you to start shooting the enemy. Other things you can use, if you don't want to use this, you can cert if we're going pure infantry, and it's like lots of obstacles and buildings and shit in the way that's hard to reach into with Bulldog. Just go for the Cobalt, because it's super strong against infantry. But of course the Bulldog is also super strong if you are providing for the right angles as the driver. So try and insert into these three, start with these for the harasser. Okay, moving on to the Sunderer. Usually not that important which gun it's using, like Basilisk or Palisade S is good enough, to be honest. The Bulldog does a higher DPS, but you need to hit with it, and it's difficult for players to do that most of the times. So just go with the Palisade or the stock Basilisk. And in this, if you don't need to crash an amp station, or I don't know how it's looking on Outfit Wars, if there's gonna be some really annoying shields to get through, then you need to have this unlocked on the Sunderer to be able to use it. Otherwise, if it's just a straightforward go from point A to B without shields in the way, fire suppression always. Then you have different niches here. We would like you to cert into the deployment shield for just ordinary spawn locations. The nanite proximity repair if we're going as a Sundy train, or if you're supposed to support the main battle tanks, etc. Because then we need at least 2 Sunderers with this proximity repair system. Other than that, we want you to have fully unlocked the stealth cloaking module. If you have search or already unlocked blockade armor, that can be really good if we are doing a point Sunderer that is chock full of bulldogs and kobolds and just wrecks the shit out of all the infantry plebs that's running around inside the base. But deployment shield, proxy repair, and stealth is your priorities. I always use Razer high-speed chassis on this because it's a little bit wonky to steer sometimes. But what you must remember with Razer high-speed is that it also it makes it easier to go uphill and scale over boxes and stuff like that. But its reverse speed's gonna suffer severely. But like, we are TR, so there's no need to press the S button anyways, ever. I will skip lightning, but you can actually unlock the Skyguard because that is an extremely strong anti-air gun. So unlock that if you have the search. Other than that, I use fire suppression, mine guard, maybe auto rep it, maybe flanker armor. That is of course a no-brainer if you're also gonna have Skyguard. Let's see, so I show this Razer high speed as always, and that's that. Prowler though, Anish, I mean, I think our tankers are gonna have, they're not gonna die that much. But if you need to pull something for the tankers, what you need to pull is of course AP, so 13 to the AP, reload speed and ammo cap, etc. Because that's the tank killer. Usually we don't run with top gunners, but if we do, and if we have like Skyguard support, like we have some AA capabilities, then you don't need a ranger or walker on top of the main battle tank. But it could be good if you unlock one of these anyways, if they want to have it. Otherwise, the halberd is a solid choice, so you don't need to prioritize this first. The first thing you do, you prioritize this. What's this shit? Nope. Let me see. Flanker armor is viable here on the main battle tank. Vehicle stealth, for me personally, it's super good because you can really sneak up behind the enemy tanks. They can't see on the minimap when you're trying to flank, and in tank battles that is a huge advantage. And you have enough HP to withstand a few AP runs from the enemy anyways. So yes, invest in this vehicle stealth before anything else here. And here I usually run with the fire suppression, but the tankers might also want to use barrage if they especially if they have repairs under us and taking the artillery, playing the Prowler like the artillery platform and not the stealth flank up in their ass shooty. But don't use the rampart projector, whatever you do.
Colossus.
So if you want to pull ESF, you use either like air versus air if you're fighting against enemy ESFs or whatever it is. Like the Needler is the stock gun. It's super good, viable. It's mid-long range, more mid-long range than the rotary. So use this, sort it out. The Banshee, if you are supposed to ground pound, this is the nose gun you must have, because the other ones are only for enemy air. Personally, I am no good pilot, but I have a few hours, and my tactics is the cheeky noob tactic. It is using this has a shit high DPS on close range. I just punch the enemy with vehicle stealth so they don't see me coming from the above. Usually use this because it just feels better. It gives me better hover and vertical thrusts and etc. so it makes it a little bit more wobbly. This guess does it as well, but I don't know. I don't like it. And ordinary air farmers that just engaging air targets, they use some kind of fuel tank and not the other missiles you see here. If you're a noob, you can use Coyote missiles. Those are pretty good. If you are, I don't know, if you're thinking that you should engage enemy liberators or galaxies, then these Havoc missiles are really good, but they are bought on the black market or on for merit anyway, so you need to buy them in a special way. If you're ground pounding, you use Hellfire rocket pods. And what I've come to realize is that Wyrm is actually really strong against liberators and galaxies. So if we see in an Outfit Wars match that they are running around with double rep gal, for example, then honestly, all it takes to melt them is, I'd say, I'm just pulling this out of my arse, but 4 ESFs with Wyrms is gonna melt them, even though they repair each other. Just focus the one target, same target, melt that shit, reload, melt the other one. And the good thing is, while this thing reloads, you can switch back to your primary nose gun and shoot a whole mag of that. And when that reloads, you go back to the Wyrm, and that's just constant DPS down on these chubby flying whales. And Liberators goes down even faster. The downside with having Wyrms instead of like just the usual external fuel tanks, many run with that. Quick recharge also, because the dogfighting is getting much better with that. So they can make small thrusts, so that's why most don't use this. So just use this if you're purely fighting enemy ESFs. Use Wyrm if it's a combination of Liberators and Galaxies, or if you're specifically going to take out enemy Galaxies. Hellfire rocket pods for ground pound. Fire suppression I always use, because you can just fly away from enemy lock-ons from the ground. And if they are locking onto you with an ESF, like with Tomcats, then just get in his face and shoot the shit out of him before he has time to do anything. So fire suppression on that one. I love vehicle stealth, but the best pilots, they use comp armor because they don't care if they are getting jumped on. They will just turbo wriggle around somewhere and then all of a sudden start shooting you. And then they have a better health pool, which makes them more tanky. But I use vehicle stealth. Not sure I should talk about Valk. I mean, I have a Valk vid in this channel. Just click the link if you want a specific guide on everything you need to know about Valks and how to use the Valk in the Red Mist Squadplay. But I can just tell a little bit short, I guess. Always go for hover stability airframe, still the most solid shit. You can use vehicle stealth or comp armor. I've been running Nanite Auto Rep for a while because you can just stitch behind things. You can play as a heavy assault or medic if you're just supposed to take this Valk from one base to the other, and then you can ditch it, you can jump out, you can just stand there, let it repair back to full health. So that's super good, because most of the times when you're piloting a Valk, when you're transporting Red Mist, you are not an Engi. The go-to weapon now is not CAS 14 or VLG, whatever it can be. It's the rocket pods. Those are really strong right now, so invest in that first. Invest in the CAS 14E after that, if you have to search. Because this still melts more infantry plebs than this. And that's just how it is. I'm not gonna explain why. What did I say? Fire suppression, yes. Here's more niche, what you want to do yourself. Not gonna cover the Liberator. Then we have the Galaxy. It would be the best. Let's see. Galaxy is a little bit special. Like it has a lot of gadgets and things it can do. A few roles to fulfill. And the latest and weirdest is this thing. And I'm not sure how we want to, if we're gonna use it in the Outfit Wars, but buy into that just in case. Might be super important because it's a new thing and Rare likes to make us play all the new things. So maybe it's viable, like he has caves or craters or something that's perfect for this big ass lodestar to deploy, but it's basically just a deployment Sunderer, but a Galaxy. If we're gonna run double Repgal for the squads to quickly be able to move around or whatever, I personally think it's kind of mid-fit to run double Repgal, but on the other hand, it's undoubtedly really, really strong because they almost never gets killed and they have a lot of time to revert back to their ESF squads or down and repair if the Engis are sitting in that. It's just annoying as fuck, and also they provide for 2 full squads to redeploy really fast, and they can stay up the whole fight, like the whole Outfit Wars game, if they are playing it correctly. So what you do then is you invest in the proximity repair of the Gal. That's mandatory, more mandatory than Lodestar. So just make sure that you have this proxy repair. That's how you run. Top weapon, just use a walker, because that's the best. I don't know, not the best. It depends on how skilled the enemy ESFs are. This is a ranged gun that you can plonk on long range. This hyena missile is for the more noob ESF pilot that comes too close. Then you can hit them with this one. So that's why I say on Outfit Wars everyone's supposed to play to the best of their abilities, and maybe the enemy has good ESFs, then this is better. If we're actually manning the double Repgals. I'm not sure what tactics we want to use. For the tail gun, it's the Walker again. And then, let's see, it's the left side. On the left side, I use Bulldog for being able to help the friendly infantry down there on bases, because you might want to touch down and circle around the base, and then your gunner can just hammer, especially when the enemy has been bogged outside a building and just trying to rest each other. It's not going as they planned because Red Mist Man's too strong and shoot them down before they get in. And then 2 of these fuckers come and just molest everything that's down there and has low HP, no shields, etc, etc. But you don't need this on both wings. That's the thing, because you can use the other one to have a long range weapon that engages both ground targets and air targets. Like the Drake is a strong weapon on a long range, and so example, this is really good to start shooting enemy galaxies with. And what you need to think about as pilot then is, on your left side is a Bulldog. You provide angles from the left side and hover counterclockwise around the base, for example. And when you're chasing galaxies, make sure that this gun always provides an angle towards them. The other 2 are just when you're being chased by enemy ESF. So you can angle up a little bit to make it easier, but usually the tail gun is what's used. Alright. So let's talk about Callout Basics. What are you supposed to call out, and when, and what is everything? What does it mean? What everyone else is saying? What is door 1 in a powerhouse? No one knows, but it's just magic, I can tell you that. Should we maybe use something to double stack, L shape, triple stack, Chevron? Yeah, this base is good for this. Okay, So first and foremost, you need to know what the different buildings are, because it's really important when you need to move to this or that place. And once you are inside, for example, a triple stack, you need to know what everything is called inside there, as to not get confused. And I'm not I don't know exactly everything, what every little detail in a house is called, and people can correct me on that, but I'm just gonna provide you for a basics idea of what's what. So triple stack is this one big building, looks like this on the map. It has a balcony, a little bit darker, and a light rooftop, and it also looks a little bit like an L, but not as much as a proper L like this one. You have 2 floors, bottom floor, top floor. Roof is obviously the roof, and the balcony is the balcony. It makes perfect sense. The tricky thing is when you're holding upstairs, then it's called the different stairs here. There are 2 stairs in a triple stack, and you call it closed and open stairs. And the closed stairs is where there is no balcony. This is the closed stairs. You can call out max closed stairs, and then everyone knows what that is. Or 5 enemy spandex pants are trying to come up to molest you. Then closed stairs. And this is the open stairs. What the fuck was that, bro? I would call that a cubby, but I'm not sure. But this was where people placed routers back in the days. Also pretty good last fallback place as a ground Engi if you just lost everything when things are looking really shitty. Then you can put up a Hardlight and or just infantry turret back here. Moving on to the L shape. L shape has also balcony and a roof and a bottom and tops. This is the cubby, chubby cubby, usually with some kind of protection like this oversized thermos bottle or whatever it is. Maybe all the toasters of Araxis. But anyways, usually on L shapes that the point is in is up here somewhere. We don't know. It can also be in cubby. So balcony, top floor, bottom floor, and also if you're gonna be super precise it screams, but it's gonna be too hectic I think in Outfit Wars. But this is the long and this is short. So if you want to call out an enemy that's in the nest, this is the nest by the way. Don't know why it's called that, but that's just how it is. It's usually a good place to be as well, but we'll go through it more on the actual infantry trainings that we're gonna do. Where to stand in each place, etc. Each type of building. So nest or is pushing balcony short means he's coming in from here, or stairs. But also something that I find extremely important that you always do when you want to call out what's happening anywhere that you intend to say. Use what the fuck is called in English? Use north, south, southwest, etc. like those terms, not left and right, because your left and right is often not the same thing as anyone else left and right. So say you stand, I don't know, okay, you stand here and you see they're pushing here and you say left heavy push incoming. What is that even? But what you can see on the minimap is I'm looking south, and south is the same for everyone. So then you just call out enemy pushing in from the south, because then everyone knows what that is. On the top middle you can also see these that I forgot what they're called in English. I'm looking south, looking southwest, west, etc. And if like you can also see the degrees, 175, but I've never used that because like it doesn't matter. If they're coming from the south, they're coming from the south in a general sense, and everyone knows where to look. Okay, double stack. Not much to say here. As always, almost not Chevron, but bottom floor. Small shitty little place. And top floor. And honestly, I don't know. Don't know if you're calling this doorway something special or whatever. Maybe I should add that after asking some mans that is screaming a lot. But whatever. And back to Chevron. Also has a long and short. This is the long stripe, short stripe. Long, short. This is actually important in a Chevron building. If you don't call out if they're coming from like west or pushing from the northeast, then your friends might be confused if you're just saying, oh, they're coming from the doorway. So what you do if they're coming from this doorway, it's a long, right? So long doorway long, or whatever. This doorway short, or they're coming in from short entry. What else is there? Powerhouse, yeah, important building structure. Where do we have one of these? Here's a powerhouse. It's a little bit contested, but whatever. So quite a large building, bottom floor, top floor, usually top floor that you're holding, and most of the times the A point is there, but sometimes the A point is down there, and then it's more difficult to hold because people can run in and just stand under this roof and be protected from your squad that's up there and trying their best. This is the small stairs, and they can come in from small stairs door, and that's that. Shit. Oops. Fucking shotgun shitter. For reals! Yeah, that ruined everything. Poor TR is running out of bases I can give examples on. Ah, stupid. What the fuck is going on here?
The Banu sovereignty has taken the facility.
Powerhouse with banana could be good. Alright, so we're coming up to a tech plant, powerhouse, and the banana building. It's also called Crescent, I think, by some, but banana is fun. So we call it banana. Banana building. They can come from here, over these weird bridges that no one knows why they're designed like this. But Araxis mans are special. So, bottom top, balcony on the banana. There's not much to say, to be honest. But usually these links to a powerhouse with bridges. And if they do, it's more easy. It's easier to defend when there are bridges, because it's funnels enemies. They need to run over this bridge, and you can just camp inside, wait for them to come out from their doorway like they are out there somewhere, and then you can start shooting them. No problem. And same thing goes for here. It is like that on bases like Echo Valley, what's it called, Woodman Ace, etc. So, top stairs, this is called. Top stairs is because it's top of both stairs. Like I told you on that base I got fucked. This is the small stairs, but top stairs, it's this room, or what you say. You can say A point if the A point is here, you can call it A point room, but these are the double doors, or dubs. So when they're pushing from here, you call out enemies pushing from dubs. If you wanna be specific, if they like, usually that's not useful, other than scrims. I don't know, maybe this outfit wars in 48 versus 48 could be important to call this out, but actually now you can use left or right because everyone is looking from inside, so everyone has the same direction of what is left and right. Dubs left, dubs right. And also, some people have developed brains over the years, so these doorways are named. That is door 1, that is door 2, and door 3. Big stairs, small stairs. Because big and small. Small stairs door. Coming from small stairs, that's where they push in. Yeah, that's that for the callouts where the enemies are pushing from on different buildings, or where you're told, maybe you're told to go to push towards banana, then you know what to do. Or go out through door 1, flank around to door 2, etc. So callout basics. Oh, by the way, also always state your intentions on what you're doing. Every time you're gonna pull something or put up a beacon or whatever it is. That is really, really important, so we don't double pull, double throw res nades, and replaces each other's beacons, etc., because that happens a lot and we really don't want that. We need to be on our top game. So it is really easy, honestly. Like beacon placement, I don't have a beacon now, but say this is a beacon, really fat beacon. Then before you place it, you say, I'm placing a beacon. You can say, I'm placing a beacon, you can say your name, Korvo is placing a beacon. And if there are several doing this at the same time, then you just agree, okay, but yeah, you can put the beacon up, Kako, or whatever. But say I'm the one, then I just say, I'm putting down a beacon now. I'm running around, this is a beacon place, and then I put it up. And that's good shit. Same for when pulling Valks. You say that you're pulling a Valk for Alpha team or Bravo team or whatever if you're in the same channel. If you're not, then you just say, I'm pulling the Valk. Then someone can say they're pulling second Valk, so you can fit all the 12 planetmans inside. 7 if you are strapping one on the roof of your Valk. But that's super secret tactics. No one else can know. Let's see, find this. I've already gone through this on the Valk bit, but like I'm pulling a Valk, and so no one else has to do it because resources are gonna be an important thing in Outfit Wars. Alright, breach basics, how to breach things. Here we go. Oh yes, enemy shitter. Yeah! L-shape could be good. Good example. Seriously. Alright, how to breach things. Hopefully we will get tight on breaching into point holes that the enemy is currently doing. What is important to know is coordination and crowd control is what's making the day. The more entry points you can breach at the same time, the better, because the enemy usually is too stressed out, and the moment someone is calling out the first thing, like they are seeing 6 of our guys here, like outside and trying to stack up to push, they're gonna call it out, north or long, enemy big push coming. But if you then have like 1 or 2 light assaults coming in through the balcony on the far side, and you have maybe some guy here that can chug a good conk up there, you can also chug things, grenades. I'm talking crowd control, and it's basically just grenades. Maxes maybe in a way, but not really. And then you can have maybe a second squad pushing in from here, different angles and doorways, because enemies usually can't hold everything, and you are creating not only really good angles to shoot the enemies that are looking the wrong way. Say someone is a little bit misplaced, maybe he's standing here because he thinks it's good protection here, but he's totally exposed, and when he's just focusing on shooting our push from there, then this guy just shoots him in the ass, and that's that. And also like people who camps around the boxes, which they should, maybe not these boxes, but it depends. Creating crossfires is a secondary really good thing about coordinating different entry points at the same time. So we can start shooting here, like I can shoot this, he can shoot from here, also like start shooting some guy over there. So it's just really good. So usually you have enemy stack team in here, stacked, I mean they're just stacking, because this is good protection. You can just have some guys checking out this and this. I would probably use these boxes to cut off that angle if I'm guarding this shit, and just go back and forth if I need a little bit fast, like they can't have time to shoot me from there. But we're talking about breaching, so what you want to do when breaching as a heavy assault, because you're the one who goes in first, and that's how it's supposed to be, and hopefully you get EMP or flash help with the crowd control grenades from your light assaults from different angle. Then what you do is basically, I usually check a little bit what's going on. Are they fully down there? Then of course I'm gonna chug the conk there. Oh, and I have a flash nade, I think. Yeah, it's a flash nade. But if they are up there, which they mostly are, then I just chug a conk up there. You can nest this where they're usually hiding, many of them, but don't throw the conk or flash or EMP there. This is also a little bit wonky, but you can get... What the fuck was that? Am I paranoid? Some man's shooting. Where was I? Yeah. If you want to get the flash down there where the point usually is, it's up there somewhere, then it's good. But if you want a conk or flash here, you just chug it on the side like there, and it's gonna land in the nest and flash everyone that's on the short, basically. Another thing to think about is that these stairs are not edged. Like if your grenade, if you aim it to hit this, it's not gonna bounce back, because it's like it's just a smooth tile or sprite, I don't know what you call it, you know. But what I want to say is, if you're throwing a grenade here, what it's gonna do, it's gonna bounce like a slope, just like that. It's gonna bounce upwards. So that's really good if you want a perfect grenade landing here. What you do then, you can practice this on your own just to get the perfect feel, is you lob it like this something, and then it's gonna bounce once and twice and like land in this vicinity, which is super strong of course. And as light assaults on this L shape, you come in, you can use these without exposing yourself to the nest. You can just aim a grenade there and it's gonna bounce in the middle, and after you're done with that, then you start shooting them from right and to the left. And that's also something to remember, is how are you breaching after you've stormed this. You've used the crowd control grenades, some of them have hit and whatever, but what you do is you run straight in, you shoot the enemies of course if they are in your face, but it's always a good thing to hug walls, because then it means that the enemy can't shoot you from a lot of angles. If you're running, I don't know, say we have a breach here, then you start running in like a headless chicken, la 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 la. What happens here, if you're not shooting the enemy or hugging walls and see where the enemies actually are before you move on, you can't just waste your life running like an idiot somewhere. Is when you have gotten this far, you will be killed by this camper and that camper. You will maybe be killed by this guy or the one that has been strafing back and forth into the cubby. And these guys, like everyone is just up there, they can shoot you. What I usually do here though is to avoid that shit, because it's problematic from this doorway, is like try and run in here. That is pretty good, and shoot, because running in here directly will make you vulnerable from the nest all the time. But just use your brain. There's like, for example, this is a safe bet. You can breach rather safe with a lot of protection from everyone that's above, and not many mans that's gonna be here, and then problems gonna start here somewhere, that they aim down these stairs. And also what's important is to be systematic. Like most of the times it's dynamic, you're wiping a bottom or top first or at the same time, or you don't really know. But if you're struggling, you need to be methodical about it. It's better if you clear off a room completely before moving on to the next. But that's a no-brainer. But also it might be that there are 3 guys there and you don't really care. It's 10 seconds left and all bodies on point. Call, for example, all bodies on point mean that everyone just drop what the fuck they're doing and run straight to the point. So I'm shooting here and the call comes, everybody on point. Then it's just drop what you're doing, run, and hug this. Because bodies on point means that if it's really hairy and the enemy is pushing and they are wiping, the friendly medic can throw a revive nade, and it is like this. The one that has the most pop on a point control area in the vicinity of this one will cap it towards their faction. Which means if we have 3 mans here and they have 2, we're still gonna make it tick in our advantage. And that's really important when it's like 5 seconds, everything is flipping. They have some bodies on the point 4, but all this squad of ours is so tight that all the 12 mans have gotten here. But like 1, 2 is alive, everyone else dead. Someone throws rest nade, you accept it immediately. The 4 guys, enemies, are getting rest, but the rest are a little bit far away. And you manage to flip it back or continue the flip all the time the last 10 seconds, then you have won. And you are a proper Red Mist squad player. If you're a shitter, then you have a super good farm here, so you don't even listen when the call comes for all bodies on point. So you continue to shoot here, and then all of a sudden, oh wait, this shit's flipping, oh what's happened? And that means that maybe the enemy pushed in from there. and they're getting all the reses going. We've lost the reses, but maybe if you were here instead, you could have made all the different. The last seconds was what you could also like farm here and here. You don't need to be in your favorite farming spot. So that is really important in Red Mist. Always be a good team player. Always listen for the squad leader callouts. Defense tactics, well, the squad leader will micromanage whatever needs to be done also on during breaching. Like the squad leader should call out which entry points to get in from. Your job as the heavy assault then is to say that you're conking. When throwing out your concussion grenade, you are stating that you're doing that, like I told you earlier with the callouts basics. Blah blah blah. So defending this point is pretty easy in the double stack. What you do when you defend is you find cover. You don't need, like, there is a term called overextending that is super stupid. It can be good in select cases, like in the start of a fight, but you are truly fucked if the enemy responds with airdrops, for example, backdrops, Caltrops on here, and you have overextended your ass in like further than here, and you're shooting people and you don't have time to think about it, and then the enemies are all around this point and your squad is inside hugging good covers like this, etc. So when defending, make sure that you're covering a doorway. Make sure that you're not overcrowding a doorway, because they are obviously breaching for doorways if they're not breaching from rooftop stairs or like one light assault in the window. But usually just think about and concentrate about where you're placing yourself in comparison to your squad. Maybe two other heavies are covering this doorway. Do you need to cover this doorway as well? No. So then you check for where can I be more useful to cover some stuff. Here is no heavy assault at all. Then I will be here, like covering this doorway. But always stick inside the buildings that you're supposed to, if the tactics has not been stated before to spawn lock, for example, which means that everyone runs to the spawn and create crossfire around that. It's called a spawn lock. And what happens then, usually the squad is screwed if the enemy responds with airdrop. But that call is made from platoon lead or squad lead, and it's on them if you fuck up. And then the plan is to slowly trickle down back to the point, which creates a buffered zone and also just delays the enemy advance. And it is usually really good against plebs, which you should always do. But on the other hand, it's outfit wars, so the enemy will have respawns with airdrops constantly and concentrated pushes, max crashes, etc. So make sure that you're in the house where your squad is and do what the squad leader tells you. And when they start coming in here, make sure that you're not exposed as of in the risk of getting conked. And sometimes it's impossible to avoid a conk or flash because it comes in from here, and you think you're smart and you're like standing here because they're conking from these places. I mean, you can even from that little hole be able to throw a grenade that lands here and flashes you completely anyways. But like if you're just standing, you can see the icons coming in from grenades, where they are, etc. If you see conk is coming there, yeah, of course, the slightest protection, like a box or whatever, completely negates the flash grenade's effectiveness, like or more or less. Let's say it comes here. Oh, I fucked it up. Well, you see there, anyways, this little thing just mitigates it. Oh, flash. Fuck. What's this?
I have a visual on an enemy liberator.
Bunch of noobs. Okay, and I think that was the basics of everything you need to think about in the different classes that you want to be in Outfit Wars, and the callout basics, breaching basics, and defense basics. And we'll train on this a lot, and I really hope it was to some help, especially for the new players. But maybe the old farts also understand one thing or two that they didn't think about earlier. Even though I don't think so, but you never know. Okay, let's see. Right in time for ops. Thanks for watching if you've made it this far to cover everything. I'm gonna have timestamps, of course, for everyone to look at their class and you know, everything that you want to look at. And good luck everyone in the coming Outfit Wars.